Hey everybody, it's Todd Carter with Tailored Living featuring Premier Garage. I hope you're doing well. Just wanted to say thanks for watching the last video that we made on helping to think about organizing your garage. Today we are going to, and you'll see me glancing down here, we didn't invest in the presidential teleprompter equipment yet, so if I glance down here, it's not because I don't like you or I'm ignoring you, it's because I want to make sure we fully cover all the notes that we've got here. So today we are going to talk about how to prepare for a custom closet installation or a consultation. So basically, you have finally had it, you cannot stand it, you've waited years, you've complained over and over, your significant other is sick of hearing you talk about it, and you said, that's it, enough is enough, it's been X years and I've got to get this closet fixed, I can't stand it anymore. So we are going to give you a peek at what we do in terms of how to prepare for that consultation, what we do when we come into your home, and what you can do to help make that process easy and simple and enjoyable, and also help you think through what some of those options are, and also the cost. People have a lot of questions, what does it cost to do this? So we're going to sort of go through some of that and talk about preparing you mentally and financially for that. So the first thing that you can do is make a few notes. So there are some things on what are your biggest frustrations. So really you're going to say, let's just jot down, so when the closet designer comes to your home, you can prepare and say, you know what, my big three things that are really making me crazy are my shoes are all over, they're scattered on the floor, I've got stacks of sweaters that are 15 sweaters high and they're always tipping and falling off the shelf, or maybe the shelf is way up here and I can't reach anything. So make a list of what those biggest frustrations are, and that's going to really help us understand what you're looking for. You may have some general goals. So you might have things like, I've got my clothes in 3 different closets. I've got my closet here, but I can see I've got all kinds of dead space. And I've also got clothes in these other 2 closets. Can I consolidate it? Do I have enough space to do it? We're going to be able to do a really quick professional assessment and help you say, yep, here's how we do it. Here's how you're going to really maximize your space. Think through also, there may be other goals you have. You say, you know what, I'm actually pretty well organized. I'd like to get more organized, but I just hate how it looks. It is so depressing to walk in there, and I have these beautiful clothes. My bedroom is beautiful. My closet is a mess. It just doesn't look great. You want to build a space that you enjoy. So once you've done things like figure out your frustrations, you've set some general goals, we're going to talk about inventorying things. So when we come to your house, we're going to do, and we have a detailed list of things, we're going to do a professional inventory to make sure that everything you want to store, we're going to tell you where to store it and how much you can store in there. But you can start that process by saying, figuring out how much hanging clothes do you have. And so some of the industry lingo that we like to talk about here, we're looking at, these are really like medium hang dresses. And we're going to take a look around at a couple other areas. You'll hear some other terms like we have hanging clothes over top of hanging clothes. That we call double hanging. And we're going to figure out what is the height of that, how much can you fit in there. Back in the corner, we often put things like long hanging or long dresses. We measure the width, so the linear foot, how much do you have of long, how much you have of double, short, medium, and so forth in terms of hanging. So try to figure out what your basic inventory looks like. The other thing to keep in mind with that is when you do this, it's a great opportunity to donate some clothing to charity, and people are always going to do that. They're going to figure out, you know what, not only am I going to do this, I'm going to get rid of the stuff I never wear, get rid of the stuff I don't like. I'm going to also create some more space, yes, for new clothing to come in, so you might want to factor that into your longer term budget, because once you do that, you're going to want to fill that space up. So those are some of the things. We're going to do that professional inventory for you, but go ahead and make those notes. So figure out your biggest frustrations, your general goals, and what you want to store in there in terms of inventory. The next thing to think about are what are those must-haves. So it's really important for us when we come in to help you to figure out you've got these things that are non-negotiable. Maybe you had your master bathroom remodeled and you're getting a new bedroom set, and you're getting rid of the old one. And when you do that, you said, you know what, I don't want dressers in the bedroom anymore. We've got a big enough closet to do it. And you say, I want a bank of drawers for me right in the center of it. Or I want 2 banks of drawers for myself and my spouse, so we can have 4 or 5 drawers each. To know what those things are that are the must-haves is really important. Or you might say, hey, I've got 60 pairs of shoes, but I really only need to see 30 at a time, and the rest I can seasonally rotate. So, and just to let you guys know, you should feel like when I say 60 pairs of shoes, if you have 90 or 100 or 150, that's okay. It's okay. We're with you because many of our clients do have over 100 pair of shoes. So for those of you who are ladies that want to share this with your significant other and let them know, I will say that the average pairs of shoes may be 80, so it's okay. You can feel good about that. And you don't need to have them all on display. You can have some of those and then seasonally rotate them. So the other thing is what's on your wish list. You may not also know what's available. So that's part of knowing where the cost is going to come into the project. So we have nice things like a tilt-out hamper. You may have your clothes on the floor in a basket. We've got items that you might like a quick press. So we have like an ironing board that folds out for a quick press, and it's easy to use and so forth. So those are some of the things that you might not know about, but once you see them, they're going to be on your wish list. We have slide-out accessories. So here we have something like a scarf rack that you can pull through, and it's just a nice way to store those scarves and have them available for everyday use. Another big one that people know they want to do, but they don't know what they want to do, is jewelry storage. So here we've got like a two-tiered jewelry tray. It's really efficient in one drawer. So there's lots of things that you might want to store, but you don't know what the possible amenities are or what the cost factors are for storing those. So those are some of the things you might want to have on the wish list. So I want to next cover some expectations for that process. When we come to your house, how long does it take? What's the process like? How do we go from having that initial consultation to actually installing that closet? So typically that upfront meeting, it might be 60 to 90 minutes. If you're doing a whole house or you have 5 or 6 or 7 spaces, it's going to require a little bit more than that, or a second meeting. But typically that first meeting is about 90 minutes. We're going to come in, we're going to meet with you, we'll do some brainstorming in the space, we'll assess your inventory like we talked about and do a really detailed inventory of what you've got. And then we're actually going to, we've got a great software program called DaVinci that we do 3D design and rendering, and we can do that really rapidly on the fly. And in many cases have either an exact design and price within that first 90 minutes to 2 hours, or we'll have a second opportunity to come back and present that to you. Here in Herndon, Virginia, you can come in if it merits to take a look at what we've got here as well in the showroom to make some final selections and designs for your project. And so that's really the first part, is that first 90-minute meeting with that 3D design consultation and a possible follow-up second meeting if necessary. For us locally, the typical lead time might be anywhere between 3 and 6 weeks from the time that you sign a contract to get your project installed. The typical range is going to be around 4 or 5 weeks to put a project in, and most projects are going to install in between 1 or 2 days. If you have multiple spaces, it might be 3, 4, or 5 days, as much as a week typically to put in a project. So that's just some general expectations for the process itself. And then the really big one that people are always curious about, they really are nervous about when they have us in, is they don't know how much it's going to cost. They know they've decided, but they're very apprehensive about what it might cost to do a custom closet. So yes, it all depends, but I'm not gonna really dodge that question, because it's like, how much is a pound of a car? It depends if it's a very low-end car or a very fancy luxury car. It's true, there are lots of options. But I'm going to give you some general rules of thumb, and I'm going to disclaim that these are our ways of thinking about and talking about it. It's not industry rules, and we don't get any hate mail on people that disagree with this methodology of educating consumers. But we're going to take a quick look at a reach-in closet here. So this might be like a closet. When we say reach-in, means it's only typically 2 feet deep. It's a kid's closet or a guest closet. A lot of times those closets are anywhere between 4 and 8 feet wide. So a typical closet about 6 feet wide. What we like to do is educate people by saying it's going to be a linear foot range. So for a reach-in closet, generally has fewer amenities. It might just have hanging and shelving and be in white material. That we typically say between about $100 and $200 per linear foot. So if you took a typical 6-foot reach-in closet, your price range, and for us that might include tax and installation, could be anywhere from about $600 to $1,200. And a $600 closet is probably going to be hanging and shelving. It'll be a tower of shelves, some long hang, some double hang, something pretty simple. If it's $1,200 closet, that's probably going to be more likely to have some baskets or drawers or hamper or belt rack involved in that design. So hopefully that helps with the smaller closets. So the same kinds of rules of thumb apply for a larger closet, and this is a bit more difficult, but to prepare for that consultation, and again, I give this as a general range, and there are many projects that cost significantly less and many that cost significantly more. But we use that same idea of a linear foot. So if you have a closet that is, let's say it's 10 feet long and then maybe 6 feet wide, you might be organizing, and you want to think about not the exact linear foot for the closet itself, but how many feet are you going to be organizing. So you might have 10 feet here, and then you might have 8 feet on this side, and then 2 feet coming across the other way. So if we count that 10, 2, and 8, we have 20 linear feet. I use that for a simple math example. In that range is really going to be typically somewhere between about 150 linear foot to as much as 350 or even more in some cases. So the range of 150 to 350, if you're organizing 20 linear feet, might be anywhere, again, help me with the math, $3,000 up to $7,000. And yes, that is a very broad range, but as an example, if we have a standard white finish and we have some drawers and a little bit of trim and a lot of hanging and shelving and maybe a hamper, that's going to be your sort of lower end range per linear foot. For the higher end range, you might have things like LED accent lights, you might have a large center island, or two sets of deeper drawer banks and a vanity. So there's a lot of different ways, and it might have a nicer upgraded finish. So hopefully that'll help to give you a sense of how we think through and educate the client in doing so. And really our objective, regardless of what your investment is just to help you get it organized and enjoy your life. So really that's going to give you a general idea of what these projects might cost, what the process looks like. And just to review, let's do that for one quick second. The things that you can do are really make some notes in advance and think through what are your biggest frustrations, what are your general goals for the project, and what are you going to try to store in there. So it's the inventory process. Thinking through also what you're going to get rid of. Once you've done that, we can help you get that closet in, often inside of 4 to 6 weeks from that time. And now you have a general idea of what the costs involved in that project would look like. Hopefully that's great. I really appreciate your time. Again, I'm Todd Carter with Tailored Living featuring Premier Garage in serving Northern Virginia and nearby Maryland. And our phone number, if you wish to call us for a consultation, is 703-707-0009. Or you can reach out and look on our website and on social media sites, www.tailoredliving.com. Really thank you for your time, and hopefully this has been an educational process for both of us.